This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. Do you still want to listen? Go right ahead. I am not your mother.
So welcome back to all of you loyal listeners. Because you keep listening, we keep doing this, and now we are doing a second season. This is the 2002 NFL season, and we're starting here week 1. Patriots banner night, opening their new stadium with a nice.
You skipped the preseason or what?
Did you watch a preseason?
I watched every game. Rohan Davies, the future.
Well, all right, yeah. Let's back up a little bit then, because we could talk about some off-season stuff since this is week 1. There was some big changes in the offseason. The biggest one being Drew Bledsoe is no longer a New England Patriot and has gotten traded to the Bills.
See you later.
Greener pastures.
Great. Going up north to Buffalo. Is it Orchard Park, New York?
Yep, whiter pastures.
Yeah, there's not a lot of greenery happening up there, I don't think. But I'm sure we'll see him in future episodes. But yeah, let's talk about the off season. What happened? There was some interesting. There wasn't really anybody else who got let go, was
Terry
there?
Glenn. See you later.
Off to the Packers, which we talked about in our last season with the bye week deep dive of Terry Glenn, where he actually did not well on the Packers, I don't think, but then would get back to his normal productive self when he would reconnect with Bill Parcells on the Cowboys.
Andrew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe as well, yes, he would also do that. Yeah, they would all get back together, getting the gang back together in Dallas. Yikes. Also a big loss of Rod Rutledge. Was he the leading tight end in 2001? I think he may have been, but just by default because he was the only tight end that actually caught any passes.
Until the playoffs.
Well, true, yeah.
And then our boy
Wiggy.
Jermaine Wiggins.
That's right,
What does he do, Connor, right now? Is he still on the radio?
Yeah, he's on EEI, I think.
Yeah,
OMF,
I know
right?
I don't think he's on radio. I think he's on the. Wait, is Wiggy on OMF? I thought he was on like one of those late night TV shows on Boston.
I think he was on like the morning show. He took over for who was the racist?
Callahan.
Yeah. So I think he took over for him.
A racist talk show host in Boston.
Yeah. They brought in. They got as him and whoever the other guy was, who was always
Minahan.
Yeah,
I liked Minahan.
Right.
Me too.
He got old fast for me.
He was a good interview. He was a really good interviewer, though. I mean, he did not pull any punches. It didn't matter who they were interviewing. He was pretty solid.
Yeah.
But he left to start his own podcast on Barstool, and so now it's they got the guys from AAF, the morning show from AAF, which isn't rock station anymore.
Greg Hill.
Yes, the Greg Hill morning show.
I'll just keep doing your job for you, Andy.
It's cool. This is what we do. We're talking about.
I haven't listened to. I'm an EEI guy. I just haven't listened to much EEI lately.
You do sound like an EEI guy then.
I don't listen to Boston sports talk at all.
It's the fucking worst.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's so much better
everybody
down
says that.
In North Carolina. It's hilarious. They're like, the Hurricanes dropped another one, but they'll get them next game.
All right, so it's not just because they're negative about a different team; they're just less negative in general.
Oh yeah.
What's
They're
that
less
like?
negative across the board. They even make fun of Boston sports. They have a segment of pissed off Boston sports radio. It's hilarious.
We should do that and just have Connor on.
Bill's radio is pretty good too. You got Brendan, obviously. I have to hear it. Ricochet, Bill's radio from time to time, and God, the depression in their voices, and the lack of optimism. It's
like watching the NFL draft.
Tragedy porn. I know we've joked about doing a Browns on Browns podcast, but I think that'd be really interesting just to hear how Cleveland sports. Is there Cleveland sports talk radio?
Of course.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
You think? You
Sure.
think they haven't just like
But I'm
off
sure-
themselves at this point?
No, Browns
It's like-
fans are hardcore. I know a ton of them.
It's probably just like Buffalo sports radio, you know?
You know who's
Yeah.
sneaky, also depressed? Detroit.
I don't think that's very sneaky.
Detroit, Cleveland, right there, that little pocket. Oh, boy.
It's a pocket of sadness.
The old Rust Belt.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got from the off season? The draft,
The draft, yeah.
Deion Branch.
I know Connor has thoughts about this draft
Does he?
because he
What
couldn't wait to share it with
what
me
an
earlier.
What
Yeah,
an
go ahead.
incredible draft. I mean, take out Rohan Davey or Antoine Womack. And I mean, that just looking at, knowing what we know now and seeing their careers in completion, just like Daniel Graham, Jarvis Green, Deion Branch, and then David Givens in the 7th.
Yeah, that's one of the
God,
all-time
he was-
steals.
A comp pick. no
Jeez,
less.
Louise. Yeah, he. I think he had so many big catches for us in those the 2003 and 2004 season. But yeah, what a steal! He was just Mr. Reliable for Tom.
He was the guy that would move the chains every time.
I had his jersey.
You had a David Gibbons jersey?
I did, yep.
Yeah,
Really?
And then he
Yeah,
went to
and
the Titans and got hurt and was like never played again.
So it's your fault.
yeah,
Yeah.
and even like Jarvis Green, he was never a superstar, but he was solid for years.
Mhm.
It was a really, really, really good draft. Obviously, Deion being the highlight, Deion Branch being the highlight.
That's true, but I think the newspapers were big on the Patriots drafting their Drew Bledsoe replacement in Rohan Davey. They were big fucking fan of him.
Yeah,
Fourth
he had a
round pick.
rocket arm. Yeah, I remember people were gushing over
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's Jamaican. He was born in Jamaica.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Got old Rasta quarterback. Arena League legend, too.
Was he?
I think he played a couple years.
I'm surprised at how many people were discovering who spent time in the AFL.
I know, we got to bring it back. Connor, have you heard of the LA Kiss?
Okay, so Andy told me one of you guys is doing like a spotlight on it after your interview with Matt Chatham. How is it? Chatham? Matt Chatham?
Chatham.
Are you not from around here?
It's fucking
Chatham.
Chatham,
That
dude.
shit? Fucking Chatham, kid.
All right, Chatham. Sorry about that.
Apology accepted.
No, I have no idea, but I have no idea anything about it. I didn't even look into it. I figured one of you guys were going to talk about it.
You have to listen to the episode that comes out where we
Yeah,
recap for 2 hours
We talked
the
about it for
entire
2 hours.
season of the show.
I watched 10 episodes of like a Hard Knocks version of for Arena Football League.
Of a team sponsored by Kiss,
Is that
the rock band.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like
It's Gene Simmons.
oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think I could get behind this.
Yeah,
Right.
it's electric.
Highly recommend. Speaking of tight ends, Kiss has some tight ends, I would say. Some other
Nice.
additions in free agency. The Patriots seem to want to address the tight end position this year since they didn't have one the year before. Brought in Cam Cleland from the Saints and our old friend Christian Fourier from the Seahawks. I think he started on the Seahawks, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Back check.
Nah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I remember looking at it briefly, and he didn't do much. Oh, fucking hell. He played on the Seahawks since 95 to 2001. Jesus Christ. I thought he was younger than that when he came to the Patriots, but I guess not.
Yeah,
Didn't
and
do great.
ironically, he's not Christian at all. He's Jewish.
7 years with the Seahawks, he caught 7 touchdowns. 4 years with the Patriots, he caught 13. So
Remember that time that he was suspended from EEI for making fun of Don Yee?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Speaking of EEI.
I mean, that's kind of what happens on
Was
EEI,
that
though.
is that the sports agent, right? Is it
Yeah,
Don
it's
Yee,
Brady.
a sports agent? Yeah.
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 Yikes.
Sorry, I like Fourier.
I have a trivia question for you guys.
All right.
Who caught more balls and yards, Cam Cleveland in this year or Matt Lacoste in the past year?
Oh fuck.
Cam Cleveland.
Probably
Probably in
because
the
I've already
first
seen him.
game.
I've already seen him catch like 2 balls in this first game.
Yeah, he had 6 catches, I think, this game.
I didn't have that many, did he?
He ends up with 16 grabs for 112 yards.
Damn. So that's about as much as
And
all the Patriots tight ends this year combined.
No. Matt Lacrosse had 131 yards. In your face, Cam.
Damn. You showed him.
But he was supposed to be like legit, right? Like Cleveland. I felt like I was
Yeah,
for him.
Did he get hurt? Did he get hurt? He came out of the gate with 6 catches. I mean, it was only 40 yards, but he 6 targets, 6 receptions first game. I wonder if he got hurt or if they just – I have no idea.
So he does get a touchdown. I actually had a note about this. He gets a touchdown in this game, I believe, right?
In this game? I don't think
No, he doesn't.
Poirier had the touchdown.
I'm
Yes.
looking at his Wikipedia, and it says when he was a rookie with the Saints, he was struck in the eye by a teammate with a sock filled with coins during a hazing incident.
What?
Barely lost his eye, in addition to suffering a broken eye socket and broken nose. The injury permanently affected his eyesight.
What?
Good Lord.
Dude,
Wow.
that
All right,
football
I
was
think
awesome.
I might –
It was Richie Incognito.
That's one of the referenced articles.
That's a wild story. I mean,
Sock filled with
especially
coins.
now compared to like PC culture now. I mean, someone did that in today's game. I mean, they didn't rape. It's not rape or beating up kids, so they'd probably like suspend them for a year. So you hit someone in the eye with sock filled with coins.
Yeah, it's like,
Probably.
what is he joining a gang?
Well, it depends on how good the guy who hit him was, probably.
I'll do some research and let you know.
All right, if you could, that'd be great. We'll do a deep dive on that one day.
There's a whole LA Times article on it.
All right, so that's kind of the big changes for the offseason. So there wasn't a ton of turnover, really, on this Patriots team other than Drew Bledsoe and Terry Glenn. Brian Cox is on the Saints, which he didn't play much down the stretch.
I thought that was. Did he not play much at the end of 2001?
Not really. He broke his leg middle of the season and then came back and played on it, but was not the same guy, so couldn't really move much. So he was like just a run stopper on short yardage down. Sort of thing.
I liked. I liked old man. I think, what do you wear? Number 92 or 95 or something like that. I liked Brian Cox.
He
I
only
just
played
remember he had
Stop it.
for the Saints. So he wants to get hurt again.
I don't. And then he got into coaching and coached Matt Chatham when he went to the Jets. They were didn't see eye to eye when they were on the Patriots, if I recall. And the opponent tonight was the Pittsburgh Steelers, who also really hadn't changed much. Their team was basically the same as well.
Yeah.
And the commentators actually mentioned that, where it was basically almost an exact rematch of the AFC Championship game the year before, because both these teams were exactly the same, except even though the Steelers' defense was the same, they struggled a lot for our Steelers' defense, I would think. It was the same defense where they finished 16th in points allowed, which is like, middle of the table, and 7th in yards allowed, which is not bad, but they gave up a shit ton of passing yards and rushing touchdowns for some reason, which we actually saw kind of in this game, where the Patriots decided they weren't going to run the ball and just spread them out and just gas them to death. So they ranked actually 20th in passing yards allowed and 20th in rushing touchdowns allowed. So I think there was a blueprint
That's
that
so
came
weird.
out early.
Their secondary must have just been abysmal, because that's maybe the best linebacking core I've ever seen in my entire life.
There's some big names
The
on
Steelers. Jason Gilden, Ferrier.
Joey
I don't know if you guys
Porter.
remember Joey Porter, Kendrell Bell.
Yeah,
They
Kendrell
had
Bell was
so many.
it's his second year.
Yeah,
James Harrison.
stud.
I think this
Yeah,
was
James-
Harrison's
no, they
rookie
didn't.
year. Yeah.
No, was it really?
Yeah, he's undrafted.
He was undrafted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Uh-huh.
First year.
Fucking hell.
and they also had Larry Foote. Larry Foote was no slouch either. Larry Foote had some good years in the league
Yep.
as well. I mean,
This was a
And I
linebacking
remember-
crew that Mike Vrabel couldn't crack. And now he's starting on the Patriots and winning Super Bowls.
Gilden was a beast
Right.
in this game again.
Yeah. He was the only one that did anything in this game, I think. But I mean, having said all that, the Steelers could get almost no pass rush in this game whatsoever.
He was
After like the first two drives.
all-time sack leader in the Steelers and still is.
Who is Gilden?
Gilden.
Yeah, he was a monster. To be fair, he was also the only one still celebrating down 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter when he makes a tackle for a loss. They got a style, that Steelers defense. Yeah, so the Pro Bowl is.
D-Tech, Case.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
How do you say the
I was just going to say their D line wasn't bad either. Like Casey Hampton. I remember all these names, like Clark Higgins, Chemo
Van
Von
Olsen?
Olhoffen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you?
Sick name.
As
Like
soon
the
as I saw
only
the
white
name, I was like,
defensive
I remember
lineman you've
this
ever
guy.
seen. Yeah,
That's classic football name right there.
Oh yeah.
it is.
Wonder where he's from.
But yeah, so 2 of those linebackers, Gilden and Porter, would actually make the Pro Bowl, along with Hines Ward, who I still hate to this day, and Alan
love him.
Faneker at their guard. Oh, of course you do, because you're an asshole too, just like you.
I like
you,
Hines
man.
Ward.
Yeah, well, you're an asshole too, Steve.
You're goddamn
What?
right. I mean,
I said I like Hines Ward. I think I like his compete level.
Yeah,
You
because you're
would.
an asshole.
Yeah, that's true on both accounts.
It's a
That's
transitive property.
Yeah,
yeah, I think that works.
real
out.
recognize real.
And the new face on this offense was Antoine Randall, which is also fantastic. But he was mostly a return man this season.
Whoa, he's a Swiss Army knife.
He was, yeah. He was their Troy
College.
Brown, according
Yeah,
to
he was-
John Madden.
He was a college quarterback, right?
Was that him?
Yeah, was it not? It wasn't. I almost said VTech, but that can't be right. I can't remember where he went to school.
I got you.
Fact
He
check.
definitely was a quarterback,
Back
though.
check guy. He
That
went
was
to
it.
Indiana.
Did he play
Indiana.
quarterback?
Yeah,
Eh,
maybe not.
Sound like it.
I'll get
Doesn't
back
sound
to you
like
on that.
it. There was who was the Steelers wide receiver that threw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl
I'm almost positive it's Randall L.
against the Seahawks? I thought it was.
Yeah.
too.
That was like his fun fact.
Right, and then they
Yeah.
talked about him playing quarterback in college. I swear to goodness.
He was the first player in Division I history to pass for 40 career touchdowns and score 40 career rushing touchdowns. He also played for the Indiana basketball team, which is
Damn.
middling program. That's
Wait, dual sported at Indiana?
under Coach Bob Knight.
What a monster!
Yeah,
That's impressive.
that's pretty sick.
God damn. See him, I like. Hines Ward can eat a dick though.
Yeah, he almost didn't get it. He had to sit out a year before going to Indiana because of low SAT scores, though. Fucking dummy.
SATs don't translate to football, bud. What was
Did a lot of community service, though.
All right.
He's a well-rounded applicant.
So we actually saw Cordell Stewart again in this game, but he would not last long on the season. He got benched in week 4 because he couldn't stop throwing interceptions, which he started doing from the get-go in this game, if we want to actually get into it.
Let's be real. He didn't stop doing it, right? He threw 2 picks to close out the AFC Championship game, comes right back, goes 0 for 3, 2 INT.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, he threw 2 picks on his first 3 passes. Both of those 2 were actually back-to-back. So he threw an interception, came right back and decided one wasn't enough and threw another one immediately. To Mike Vrabel, of all people, which is hard to do.
Dude, he threw it right into Vrabel's
Yeah.
bed. He just didn't see him and it's like, here you go.
Yeah, that was bad. But I have to say, he can huck a football deep from any body position. Like he's running sideways and diagonally backwards, and just slings it like he's skipping rocks, and it goes 60 yards out.
Y'all remember his nickname, right?
Slash.
Yeah.
Isn't that him? Yeah. I don't know why. Didn't he play a bunch of positions too? Quarterback and wide receiver. And
That's what I was. Yep.
running back and all that shit.
That's what I was about to get.
Yeah.
Yo, Randall L., he got drafted too for Major League Baseball.
What about Cordell Stewart?
I don't know. I'm too deep into Randall L. right now. He's a legend.
I wanted to bring up. I wanted to touch on somebody who I found fascinating in this while I was doing my research, and that was the guy who took over for Cordell Stewart, and that was my boy Tommy Maddox.
Yep.
Pittsburgh legend Tommy Maddox, apparently. He played in the AFL, just like everybody else. New Jersey Red Dogs. Did okay, and also played in the original XFL, if you remember that, with He Hate Me, and was the league MVP for that one season. He actually got drafted by the Broncos. He was supposed to be Elway's replacement, and then obviously wasn't.
He's a first-round pick.
Yeah. Back
Tommy
in
Maddox was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
By the Broncos, though, so Elway had a hand in it.
Dude, I always thought he was just like a journeyman. I never realized that he had an NFL career before. Like, I remember him coming, they'll be like, oh, yeah, he played XFL, this and that. I didn't realize that he already had an NFL career.
Yeah, he'd been around the game for a while because he was already a journeyman. He played for Denver for 2 years, the Rams, and then the Giants, and then took 6 years off to play for the XFL and the AFL, and then came back to the NFL because he was the XFL league MVP. The Steelers picked him up, and now he was backing up Cordell Stewart. And then he came in, and all he did was, I don't know which game it was. It was one of his earlier games. He set it was week 10 against the Falcons. He set the Steelers record for passing yards in a game with 473 in a game that the Steelers would go on to tie 34-34, which that's got to be like the worst tie in NFL history. That's probably worse than like a 3-3, like a shootout that ends in a tie. Just that feels like a blue ball sort of thing.
Yeah, come on.
Right. And then the week after, against the Titans, he got hit as he was throwing and tripped over somebody. And apparently the hit left him briefly paralyzed, and he was taken to the hospital on a stretcher.
I remember that.
I remember that, yeah.
Right. But then came back in time for the playoffs, and the playoffs to the Ravens. No, sorry, to the Titans, actually. Went and lost to the Titans again. In a shootout, 31-34. Lost in overtime. So he is one of the more fascinating stories that I had no idea about, because the only reason I recognize the name Tommy Maddox is because I'm pretty sure I had his rookie card, his football card back in the day.
From 1992.
Yeah, yeah. We were collecting football cards back then. What was I, 9? That was like peak football cards.
Wasn't Greg just a twinkle in your father's eye in 1992?
I was 4 years old.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I was 5. I don't remember shit from 1992.
I was 9. I barely remember it, except for my Tommy Maddox UCLA rookie card. Apparently, that would have been worth money now. If I knew it was going to be an XFL MVP, I would have kept it. But, easy come, easy go.
The New Jersey Red Dogs is a pretty sick name. I wonder if that's related to the beer.
If it wasn't, they missed a great opportunity.
Oh yeah, dude. Talk about branding.
That's what
Just
I mean.
like free giveaways at the game. Oh
Yeah, all the beers cost money except for Red Dogs,
yeah.
which you can get as many as you want for free.
They pay
Dude, the
you.
mascot's just shit faced the whole time. There's a lot you could do there.
He's got the T-shirt gun, but he's just shooting out cans of Red Dog. Cussing
Apparently,
people.
there was another LA. LA Extreme is the XFL, right?
Yes, yeah.
Did he have a nickname?
Tommy Maddox?
Yeah, you remember he's putting
Touchdown or something like that.
yeah, he's putting nicknames on the back of their
Oh,
jerseys.
they did, yeah.
He call himself TM12.
Yeah, I mean, he is pretty white, so he probably just went with Maddox.
He probably went with Tommy. That's the other thing. The guy don't go by Tommy. Like if you're a grown man,
Like Andy.
I'm Andrew. Thank you very much. How dare you call me Andy? It's reserved for my mother.
Stop it. Dude,
What about
Steve
Gregory?
and Greg don't.
What about Gregory? It ends in a Y.
That's pretty terrible. That's what I mean. That's bad parenting is what that is.
Thomas Alfred Maddox.
And he goes
That
by
is
Tommy.
the whitest human ever.
Go by Tom, bud. Alfred, though.
Alfred. Tommy
T.A.
Al.
You should have gone by T.A. Maddox. That would have been
That's
pretty
sick.
badass.
I like
TA,
that.
yeah.
Right?
On that.
T.A. Maddox. Sounds like he's a fucking writer of short stories. But luckily, we didn't have to see T.A. Maddox play in this game. It was all Cordell, and he was generous. I thought, even starting from his first drive, he threw an interception by our old friend Terrell Buckley, who was one of my favorites back in the day.
Before we get too far, should we talk about the banner raising, the opening ceremony? It's Gillette's first game.
Yes, I have notes about that.
Let's hear it.
Well, I don't want to go. I mean, did everyone get to watch any of it? Like do you guys see the Dennis Hopper opener?
Yeah, dude, what was that?
Yeah, run us through that, Connor.
So Dennis Hopper, I think, like usual, it was the first game of the NFL season. I think it was the first televised game right? Wasn't that the first televised game of that season?
No, it was a Sunday night game, so it was the first Sunday night game.
Yeah, primetime game. Yeah,
it was a Monday night. It was a Monday night
Monday
game.
night. Sorry, yeah.
Got it. Yeah. It was a Monday night game, and Dennis Hopper is just like, recapping the Patriots' miracle season from the year before, talking about the young kid Tom Brady, and then he gets into the Snow Bowl game with the tuck rule, and he is dressed like the abominable snowman with white paper confetti, fake snow. It was the corniest. It was the corniest thing I've ever seen, and I thought that was going to be the thing that pissed me off the most. But no, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys being tapped on the shoulder to sing the national anthem for the fucking banner raising night for the Patriots pissed me off so bad. Nick Carter, I was disgusted.
Yeah,
I loved it. It's like I liked the Backstreet Boys kind of, but I was just appalled seeing that.
It was an odd choice, but they also, coming back from commercial, one of the the coming back into it things, they had a Nickelback song on too. If you caught that, I think it was Nickelback.
It was
one of those.
Maybe getting Nick Carter to sing the national anthem in 2002 is like a huge deal, and I just don't realize it. But
is he even from around here, Nick Carter? Is he a local boy?
Okay, Nick Carter.
I feel like you'd want somebody who's from around here. No, he's from Florida.
It's nationally televised game. The Boston Globe was pretty pissed off about it too. Jeff Wagenheim, one of his best and worst was a Backstreet Boy singing, in quotations, the anthem. And then in parentheses, wasn't it past bedtime for teeny boppers? Question mark.
Oh shit!
Oh, okay.
Jeff
Shots
coming
fired.
at him. Dude, that's old man yells at crowd. I mean, I'm going to throw Connor in that category too.
Oh,
What?
shit.
I mean, it's a song.
Well,
We can't have like a singer sing
Well,
a
no.
song before a game. What's wrong with that?
I don't know if you would just think that they could find someone more impressive
Oh, like
for the
Beethoven or
Patriots
something?
banner night.
Just dig 'em up.
Beethoven.
Dude, Nick Carter is from New York. I don't know. It just, again, it is old man that yells at cloud. I was watching the game fucking 18 years later today,
Yelling
and
at
I
the
was just
video
like,
that's
what
in the
is
cloud.
this?
I can see both sides of it. On one hand, I get, Nick Carter, 2002, pretty fucking famous.
Yep.
Probably. That's probably the
But
highest
flip side is you having this guy with frosted tips that also matched Lonnie Paxton's newly frosted tips. And is that really the tone you want to be setting with your football team for the season?
John Madden was all about giving Lonnie Paxton shit for what happened to his hair. It's like, looks like something
Yeah.
fell into his hair.
It was ridiculous.
We should probably talk about John Madden too, because this was his first game on, was it ABC?
And his first game with Al, right?
With doing Al Michaels, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was it wasn't
It's-
bad.
It was the first time since 1979 that there wasn't an NFC team involved in the game he was calling.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a long ass time. Yeah, because he used to be on Fox and they only did an MC.
exactly.
So
He did have one mess up. Well, one of many. It was at the beginning of the second quarter. He was replaying a screen, and there's 3 defenders on the screen. And he's like, "This guy right here," and he circles the wrong one.
Yeah.
And
And
then
circles 2 of them, yeah.
circles the other guy, so he only ends up not circling the guy you're supposed to watch.
And then there was the play where they were replaying Troy Brown's toe tap catch. And it was going to replay. And first they called it a catch, so Bill Cowher tried to challenge it. And then they overruled it and called it incomplete, so Belichick challenged it. And Madden seemed to think it was blatantly not a catch, so he decided to go on a tangent while they kept replaying that it was obviously a catch and it was going to get overturned and ruled a catch. And it took him a good 5 minutes of a couple of different stories before somebody must have tapped him on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, by the way, you should probably talk about this because it's going to be a catch." He's like, "Oh, actually, look at this. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing?"
Yeah.
That was great.
We've been seeing it.
Yep, Jeff Wagenheim from Boston Globe had a comment on that as well.
He seems to have some opinions. Let's hear it.
Apparently, the ref said that Brown drug his other foot inbounds rather than dragged. So Jeff said that was the worst drug test of the game.
Oh,
Jeff.
Oh my
oh
God.
God.
Jeff.
This guy's like Greg Easterbrook before
Typ-
the internet.
typical Jeff Wagenheim, am I right?
Yeah, I know.
I wonder if he's still doing
On
his thing.
guy.
Wow. No, it doesn't seem racist enough. Jeff Wagenheim. There's a Jeff Wagenheim on Twitter.
He doesn't know how to use it.
When you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Yeah, that's
That's his quote is by Yogi Berra, I assume. Oh man.
what's your favorite Yogi Berra quote?
Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded.
Yeah, that's my favorite too.
No, it gets laid out there early.
That's a good one too. But speaking of early, if we're talking about the crowd in this game, there was a thing in the Boston Globe about how great the traffic flow was.
Yeah,
This?
fucking right.
No way.
Right, exactly, because their only praise was that they were planning on opening the stadium an extra hour early at 4 p.m. for this 9 o'clock game. Is that what time it started? Yeah, it started at 9 o'clock. But because people had arrived so early, the traffic was starting back up, so they opened it at 3:30, just so they could let everybody in early enough to get super fucking drunk. And they felt drunk to me.
Well,
Like,
they're
having
hyped,
gone
so-
to a few games over the years, like this crowd was fucking rowdy. They started
Yeah,
a
man.
Madden chant at the end, like at him.
Monday Night Football. You just come off a Super Bowl, raising a banner, brand new stadium. Hell yeah.
First banner.
Absolutely. Well, they didn't know that. It's like
Yeah,
the
but,
first
like,
battle of Little Bighorn. They don't fucking know, do they?
Yeah, it could be the last one. You better make
Yeah.
all you can of it.
They
And
didn't call it World War One until the second one happened.
surprisingly, they were underdogs, the Pats going in.
Yeah, they were.
3-point dogs, which I found surprising.
For this, it was they showed us that it was the first time since '83 that the Super Bowl champs were underdogs in their season opener.
Yeah. Shit
Which is
stomped them.
Fuck bullshit. That'll teach you.
Yeah, we should say the final score. What was it?
Oh yeah,
30 to 14. Pats.
which we'll get to.
And it
I
wasn't
think
even that close.
It wasn't even nearly. It was way worse than that.
It was 30-7, really. But we'll get to that. Is there anything you guys
So
want
this
to talk
was,
about early in this game?
This is officially Gillette by this point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was no longer. We don't know what happened. Like nobody ever said what happened from CMGI Field to Gillette, but they announced it as Gillette Field.
Well, I read an article in the Hartford Current about it.
As you do.
Yeah. CMGI's stock was like the hottest thing in the streets.
Yeah.
As recently as January 2000, it was at $163 a share. And then by August
.com bubble
2000,
happened.
yeah. Well, it was that and 9/11, I guess.
Oh.
But
Yeah, I
by-
think 9/11 kind of like the .com bubble happened, and then 9/11 happened, and just kind of like crushed anything that was left of.
Right. They were really
survivors.
dependent on the stock market. So like when everything, there was no money out there for them.
Yeah.
But it went from $163 a share to 40 cents a share in like a year and a
Oh
half.
my god!
Boy.
So I think some people lost a shitload of money.
God damn, that's brutal. Well, that explains why I don't have the rights to the naming of the stadium, I guess.
Yep.
Jesus.
Do you take stock?
They were paying $10 million a year for the rights.
Oof.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, this day and age.
Like from a business perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you have to sign like a multi-year thing though. Like it has
Yeah.
to
It
be.
was 114 for 15 years.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
But then the stadium
What-
itself only
what-
costs $325.
yeah. So you're getting a good chunk of money back. I wonder if all that has to be paid up front.
Like, isn't the new Raider Stadium or the Ram Stadium $1 billion?
Probably.
Yeah. But I mean, all that money is like all inflated and everything anyway nowadays.
Yeah, it's fake
Triple?
money.
At the time, it was a ridiculous amount of money to spend on a stadium, on top of the money that he spent on the team itself.
Right.
Which is well, maybe we'll do a deep dive on that one day because that story.
What were
We
you
got-
guys talking about? I had to feed my dog.
Would you
Thanks-
feed him?
thanks for
Talking
putting in
about
the effort.
Gillette Stadium.
Yeah,
Sorry.
cool brag. about the
I
dog,
remember
though.
when it wasn't a brag. I'm sorry, he was bitching. Anyways,
Do you guys
that,
like
that
Gillette?
open concept? When it first, yeah, I do. I don't know if it's still the allure from when I was younger, and like that big archway with the open concept seemed like it was pretty cutting edge. Not cutting edge, but like a new design at that time.
Yeah, we're going on what 18 years now of that thing being what it is. So for an 18-year-old stadium, I
Do
think
you
it's
like
still
Gillette, Greg?
pretty modern.
Nah, I don't know. I go back and forth. Like I like it because of like
Do you
the
think-
memories I have there, but I
Yeah.
don't think it has anything to do with like how the stadium's designed. To me, it's kind of like meh.
I think the stadium's fine. The whole experience with the Route 1 really
Yeah,
hurt.
one's
Right.
garbage.
And you go to other stadiums around the country and you're
And-
like, this stadium is like way better, like whole process of everything, you know?
Oh, yeah, Redskins games are great.
It,
In
In
and out in no
Heinz-
time.
Heinz Field is sweet.
Or like Seattle Stadium.
think
that
it's
thing's
because
cool.
do you think it's because our tailgate is so blah that you walk into the stadium not feeling inspired? Because after Bill's tailgate, I don't walk in, and I know it's a shithole. I don't walk in and I'm like, God, this place is a shithole. I'm all pumped because it was just like the best tailgate of my life. Whereas Gillette, everyone is just kind of like I don't know, maybe in 2001 or 2002, people had a little more pep in their step, but going back in these past couple of years, it's just people are just sitting around like, yeah, we're the best. Like, exactly. I don't, maybe, yeah, exactly.
Well, I think even just watching, I remember the feeling watching games back then compared to now. And I felt it again recently when Brady was suspended for the first 4 games of whatever season that was 2018? And you would go into the game.
His first game back?
No, those first 4 games.
Right, yeah.
And you go into them, and it had a completely different feeling because I realized that over the years, you'd go into the game expecting the Patriots to win, and now you have this stress of them living up to your expectations. And if they didn't, you get all pissy. Well, I got all pissy because they're not playing like I know that they can, sort of thing. Whereas when you had Jimmy G in there, it was like, hey, maybe they'll win this and maybe they won't, but at least it's exciting. Let's find out. And I think that part of it, I think, is probably what's missing from Patriots tailgating these days.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really even care. I don't want to say you don't really even care about the games until the playoffs. These past,
yeah,
like
the wins don't mean as much anymore because there's so many of them. Just such a spoiled.
I don't know
thing
when
to
that
say.
started. I would say probably from like the 2007 season on.
Yeah.
Right. I think when we won those first 3, we're still kind of spunky, spunky fan base. Like we still have like, we're finally starting to see success with the Sox. We're like the miserable Boston fan. It's just, it was groomed in Red Sox misery. So we brought that chip on our shoulder, like over into football season and with our Patriots fans. And then we just became like just cocky and didn't really get up for games probably.
Yeah. It just felt like as soon as Brady took over this offense and became elite at what he was doing, like you said, in probably 2000, maybe even 2006, he was dragging the team along with him. And so you just never felt like you're actually out of any game, and you kind of expected him to win it every time. So it came with this expectation of, if they don't do it, you're disappointed in Tom Brady because he didn't do what he normally does,
You're like, I hope they win this game in like a unique way that I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how many Lions and Browns and Bills fans you're pissing off right now?
None, because none of them listen to a fucking Patriots podcast.
Literally earlier today, I had my Lions friend try to tell me he was talking himself into Matt Stafford as league MVP. Because his odds are like 6,000, plus 6,000. He's like, yeah, man, it's actually not a bad bet. I was like, okay, let me know how.
Who are they throwing to? Like, that doesn't even, Jesus. God.
Let's get Megatron out of retirement like Gronk did. Anything.
But like, that's he's like, this is my cycle, I'm at the point right now where like, shit, man, anything's possible.
Exactly.
What's most possible that their like 25-year like playoff streak continues.
Yeah, I think that is most possible.
You know what part of Gillette is really nice though is their drunk tank.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Explain it to me.
It's under the well, I actually don't know where it is.
Or you don't remember where it was.
Correct. It's very cavernous though, so I thought it was under the stadium, but I'm not positive.
So it's very roomy, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, that's nice. Any accoutrement?
I was in there with another kid.
Oh,
he didn't like me.
No, why's that?
I don't know. Don't remember.
Was the game on?
I was banging on the window. I was like, "Tell me the score," and they were like, "No."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then Kelly's mom
learn about your brothers.
picked me up.
You were with your in-laws?
That's correct.
Oh, I can't.
Those are early days too. God bless them.
God, and they're still stuck around.
Yep.
I mean,
how did you...
in Gillette security's defense, you are insufferable.
Yes.
Especially when he's blackout drunk.
Once you get past that level, you're pretty insufferable.
Yep.
In terms of, I mean, I personally love it because it's usually directed at Bills fans. We go to Bills games together, and that's always fun. But you've certainly gotten some RV tires slashed due to your.
God.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That could have been any of us.
Get rocks thrown at us. Yeah.
Greg had beers thrown at you, didn't you? When you were sitting on top of the RV with the inflatable
that's
penis.
a given.
Yeah.
That's
annual.
That's commonplace.
Just like snow.
Dear Jesus.
Are we gonna get into this game? I want to talk about.
Well, I was just gonna say while we've been talking, Cordell Stewart just threw another interception. We should probably talk about that. So
yeah, I was gonna talk about. You want to talk about Cordell?
Go ahead. You have the floor.
I was just gonna say that with all the off-season talk about is Tom Brady? Was this just a fluke?
Yep.
Is Rohan Davey gonna take the starting job at some point?
Mm-hmm.
And
our defense is gonna figure out Tom Brady, and
Big Dick Tommy had himself a game. I mean, he 67% completion percentage, a C hair under 300 yards, no picks, 3 TDs, just came out there and was just slanging.
Yeah.
Obviously,
and they weren't even pretending to run the ball.
No. Our defense, granted, put us in great spots all throughout the game. There's just a ton of turnovers. But what a statement from Tom, I thought. He a bunch of new faces, too. I mean, Deion Branch had a huge game, 6 receptions to Cam Cleland. I mean, he was throwing it all over the field. Pretty sweet.
Had some drops in the bucket. They started off poor because the first Steelers pick, they turned into nothing. I think they went 3 and out.
They did. They went 3 and out from midfield.
Yeah, they got a touchdown on.
Yeah,
I think that was the
first ever points scored in the new Gillette Stadium. That's a good little trivia thing. Yeah, Brady to Christian Fourier.
And then
that was only, but even that drive was only because the Steelers kept committing penalties on 3rd down, like defensive holding and jumping off sides and all sorts of bullshit.
I think the Steelers they got it going, right? They had that bullshit pass interference on Ty Law.
Ty Law. Greg, it's a good job you didn't watch this game because Ty Law. And you know what? I'm actually a little pissed that you didn't get to see this game because I thought you were going to actually join me on the dark side because the reason the pass interference calls were getting called on Ty Law was because Hines Ward was flopping all over the place. Anytime he wasn't going to catch the ball, he just kind of flopped over onto the ground, and Ty Law kept getting called for pass interference. It happened twice, once in the end zone.
Dude, he was that's literally Hines Ward's. He was the best in the league at that. He was known for that. He
was doing that, and he's starting fights after turnovers and stuff, and he's just he's obviously known for his we'll call them generously his borderline blocks, his crackback blocks on people who he's injured and stuff. Just not a fan of him. Although to be fair,
hate him when he's not on your team, love him when he is.
Oh yeah, and in his defense, there was a lot of people looking to get their shots in on him. So even if he caught the ball, went to ground, nobody tagged him down. They fucking jumped on him helmet first. And especially Lawyer Malloy, who was just going in heavy literally every time he was even close to the ball. And he just popped back up. He's like, yeah, I get it. Gave the guy a pat on the butt and
Ty
went
Law
back to the next play.
That was elite Ty Law years too, and he still had a game. He had 10 tackles. He had a sack.
Hines had that one touchdown on him. He got him pretty good. Law was lazy getting over on the defense on the motion, and he beat him pretty clean.
Yep.
But that PI on that first drive of the second half or second quarter, where they called 2 PIs on Ty, both were pretty bullshit. So the Steelers get the ball, 1st and goal from the 1. was in the end zone.
And then they fall the fuck apart.
Well, yeah, the refs called a false start, which was also bullshit, which wasn't there.
Yeah, that was a bad call.
And then like Chris Fumatu Ma'afala like had the ball knocked away from him by a lawyer or someone after the play, gets a personal foul. So then they kick in a field goal. Then they have a false start. So then they miss their field goal. And then it cuts to Cowher's face. Oh baby, it was amazing. Loving it.
It was like it was the Bill Cowher face is up there, I think, with on the pantheon of annoyed faces.
Yeah, he had a
the
classic.
Manning brothers.
Yeah,
he's definitely like that kind of that jaw, where his mouth almost becomes like non-existent, and it's all bottom chin.
Yeah, it extends past his nose. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, and that was peak because they did. I actually wrote this down because they get a first down. First, like you said, first and goal from the 1, and then they get backed up on penalties, and then they complete a pass on third down to Fumatu Ma'afala.
One bad Ma'afala.
Exactly. So he gets tackled at the 1 or the 2, right? So chip shot field goal, but then Lawyer Malloy does his bullshit because Fumatu Ma'afala tries to reach it out, so he just like knocks it out of his hand, and so he gets up and like pushes Malloy in the chest and gets a 15-yard penalty. So now they're kicking from the 15, which still makeable field goal, but then they do a false start, which moves them back another even further back, and then they miss the field goal wide left.
Then the Patriots take the ball back down and hit the exact same field goal from Vinatieri.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Wagenheim said that was the best bus stop.
There was a lot of bus stops in this. I don't know if that's the best one. There was one that I think it was Willie McGinnis just came off the edge, and the bus tried to do. He was like, it wasn't even a sweep. It was just like out off tackle sort of thing, and just ran him over like he was. It was like us playing football back in the day, where I was like a foot taller than all of you, and I could just tackle you at will in like whatever angle. It didn't matter if you had the momentum or anything. Like you just hit me and you just fall over, and it looked just like that.
I don't remember this at all.
I don't remember that either.
Of course you don't. It's all the concussions I gave you.
So Pats open up half 2 with a Donald Hayes touchdown. It was actually a really nice turn after you get the ball and an awesome block by Dion.
Yeah. Donald Hayes, who we saw at the end of last season, regular season, playing for the Panthers, and he's the one that had a couple of footballs come off his hands that were returned for touchdowns.
And they were like, I like what I see there. Let's sign this guy.
Exactly.
This like sparked my thought. This and Cam Cleveland. I was like, what are like the skill position players that we've got in that haven't caught a touchdown? Because we all know that list of Brady touchdown passes.
Yeah, it's on the website.
Donald Hayes and Cam Cleveland are on it. Like, who couldn't crack that group? I couldn't find people who played more than 8 games of Brady and still couldn't catch a TD.
Well, actually, let's do.
You know, it's a weird one. Stephen Ridley.
That's true. Yeah, he never caught a Tom Brady touchdown pass.
Yeah,
he didn't really catch the ball too much, though.
Still, I mean, you got to think. I mean, he had like 4 years as a starting tailback. You get one in there at some point.
You would think.
It's off the screen or something.
Yeah.
So can you guys name the top 5 receivers in terms of touchdowns?
Moss, Branch, Welker.
Gronk, Moss, Welker so far.
Branch.
Edelman.
Yeah. So it's Gronk, Edelman, Moss, Welker, James White.
See? Told you.
And then Deion Branch is 6th. Number 7?
Theoretical question for Connor. Who's a bigger Patriot, David Patton or Branch?
Oh, right.
Who was what?
Who was like more legendary Patriots player?
Branch or Patton?
Oh God!
Right?
The only huge Branch. I remember more legendary David Patton catches. The one in the back of the end zone, was that the one from Drew Bledsoe?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In the back of the end zone when Drew had to step in. All right.
Then he did it again in the Super Bowl.
Branch, but Branch also won a Super Bowl MVP. That's a tough one. I remember more legendary catches probably in those, especially the first. Branch wasn't there. 2001, David Patton had a bunch of catches throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, and Snowball.
I think Branch. Yeah. Branch was better. Patton, I don't know. It sticks out more in terms of catches.
Yeah, that was our analysis too.
Yeah, I think it was Patton had the more memorable catches because he also had that game where he ran passed and caught a touchdown too.
Yeah, but Deion's best
Yeah.
receiver we've ever drafted and developed.
Ooh,
True.
There's a hot take.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
No,
him or
that's
Edelman,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably
Like the
Edelman.
Belichick era. Yeah.
Either way, they're like 1A, 1B, right?
No, James White.
Yeah. You can put him on there. He's fifth on this team in touchdown catches in the Brady era.
Jimmy Blanco.
That's fascinating, though.
Yo, he's gonna move to wide receiver this year. I'm calling it right now.
Interesting. Where though? Are you going to put him in the slot?
Yeah, they play him. They play him out wide receiver all the time. Anyway, so
They
you might
play-
as well.
They play everybody at wide receiver, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Patriots aren't afraid to throw a tight end out there. Not tight end, a fullback out there.
Yep.
All the way back to the Mark Edward days.
I
We saw
knew-
it in this game, actually.
Trust me, I've
Our-
done the film review.
our
Andy.
I don't trust that.
Our new, we have like a top 3 fullback this year. Danny Vitale can catch.
Yeah.
He's.
What do you think
I was
about our
reading,
new
I was reading
kicker?
some articles. Oh boy.
Not getting into that.
Justin Rohrwasser?
Yeah, I guess he can. I guess he can kick it a country mile. I don't know. I think it was one of those classic. Like he knew exactly what tattoo it was and was just coasting until it came up post draft, and now he's crying on social media saying he's getting it covered up. It's a classic. The story as old as time. Tale as old as time.
His name translates to Justin Pipewater.
Yeah, it does.
So they passed on Rodrigo Blankenship for fucking tap water.
Yeah.
I can't believe I wanted Hot Rod so bad.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would have been great, yeah.
He's just a fucking legend.
Those glasses, man.
The kid from Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the rec specs.
Yeah.
And he's like a rapper. He like hangs out with all the
Oh, God, really?
yeah. He's awesome. And his name's Rodrigo Blankenship. Like, fucking come on, dude. As a kicker, you have to sign that guy.
Yeah, the Colts got him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he went undrafted and they signed him.
Oh, no shit. Well, all right. Speaking of kickers, though, Connor's boy, Adam Vinatieri, had himself some kickoff problems in this game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Decided to, right at the end of the third quarter, kick it out of bounds on the kickoff.
What a fucking idiot.
Time to hit the panic button. What do you think?
Cut
I
him.
think so. Yeah, I think we should probably cut him and draft a kicker in the third round.
Maybe someone more accurate.
Yeah, preferably somebody more accurate would be good.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that
Statistically
goes.
speaking. So, well, Connor, I wanted to bring this up
I'm
to you.
not doing this.
I wanted to bring this up to you because just to hammer my point of like you have selective memory. We were watching the AFC Championship game from last year against these Steelers, right?
Yes.
The Patriots are up 7 and they're driving with 2 minutes left, something like that.
Yep.
And they get a 45-yard field goal to basically win the game. It's going to make it a 10-point game. Pushed it. Gave the Steelers another chance. Steelers throw an interception, but if the Steelers go down and score there, there's a whole different perception on what Adam Vinatieri's career is.
It was real, yeah.
Okay, that's fair
Bailed
to
out
say.
by his
That's a
defense.
shoulda, coulda, woulda. It was the only field goal he missed. Like I said,
a
from
pretty big
week
one.
14 on. Yep, But guess what? We won the game, so no one remembers it. You remember
Exactly.
every fucking
That's the point.
Gostowski.
The defense won the game, so no one gives a shit about what the kicker did.
Dude.
It only matters when, like, people remember it.
When your team loses.
Yes.
Oh my!
All right, we're not going to go down this road
I'm
again.
not doing it.
All right, I have
He
I
had-
have
so
I have
he
the
had-
answer to my question.
He had one of the.
What was your question?
Which player has like the most catches but no touchdowns from Tom Brady?
Oh, okay.
Ooh, what era? Like what?
You think we can guess it?
Maybe, probably not. Played 2007 to 2010, 47 games.
What position did he play?
Running back.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
No, he's on here though. He did not catch one.
Hmm.
Ben Jarvis had 26 catches.
Let's see.
This guy had
Who-
49.
49 catches and no touchdowns. From the running back spot?
It's not Woodhead, right?
Nope.
No, he scored.
Not
LeGarrette
really.
Blunt?
No.
No. LeGarrette must have one. He's not on this list.
Damn. Yeah, I think he does actually. He
Ridley,
catches
for
20
reference,
passes.
had 23 catches.
Wow, double that almost? Fucking
And
hell.
52. Ridley has the most games, 52 games.
That makes sense.
Tell us.
49 catches.
No. No, don't tell us just yet. That's.
Give us.
Needs more time to Google.
Is it, no.
I'll give you some hints.
Yeah,
Sammy
give us some
Morris.
hints.
Connor got it, yeah. Sammy Morris.
Damn.
Dude, Google really is a fucking wonder. Just give me 2 more seconds.
I thought I heard Alexa in the background.
Okay, well, there was other running backs to choose from on there besides Sammy Morris.
Wow. Yeah.
I almost asked if you were going like if you were being coy and it was like actually a fullback, but you called him a running back just to throw us off. Because I almost said Heath Evans, but that would have been a lie. I think he's caught one.
James Devlin never did.
He did, but it was in the playoffs.
James Devins.
Rest
He
in
has
peace.
one. It was in one of those blowouts against the
Yeah, this is just regular
Colts.
season.
LeGarrette Blunt only has one though against the Colts.
Yeah, I
of course.
excluded one. Jacoby Myers is on this list.
Jacoby Myers. Well, yeah, okay. I mean that's
Devlin, Sony Michel.
yep.
There's
So
really not a
sad.
lot.
No, there's a
Jacob
lot of people that have
Hollister.
one though.
Hollister, 23 games.
Antonio Brown,
He's got one.
Mr. Big Chest himself.
He's got as many touchdowns as Matt Mulligan does.
I
And Nate
miss
Solder,
him.
for that matter.
I miss him too. I wish he was still.
Antonio Brown. This would have been a whole different season if we had had Antonio Brown.
Yep.
Could have masked a lot. I mean, not. We probably had the worst production from the tight end position in the history, maybe in league history this year. Which is
2001 Patriots would probably argue. They probably give that a run for their money.
We just determined Cam Cleveland was worse.
But he wasn't the starter, though.
I know.
It was Daniel Graham, who, for all intents and purposes, looks like a fucking wagon.
Yeah.
I don't know how he didn't work out because that's a big man who moves quick.
He played a while in the league.
Yeah, he did not work out.
I mean, he wasn't the Gronkowski that he looks like he should be. Like, it looks like he has that same like speed and smoothness to his route running and stuff. But
Played
Oh.
10 years.
yeah, did he play? Where did he go to the Saints?
Denver.
Yeah.
Watson
That's
went to the Saints.
Denver,
That's what it was. Yeah,
Watson. Yeah.
yeah. Watson was good. So maybe one of these new draft picks will be a good. tight end.
Watson could have. He was a specimen coming out of college.
He was.
I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be dominant. I remember when I think it was 2004 when we drafted Watson. I thought he was going to be dominant. He was so fast. He was kind of like
He's the one that
the
ran down
Vernon
Champ
Davis
Bailey.
before Vernon did. Yeah, he did run. That was an incredible play. That's an all-time. I'll never forget that play.
Yeah,
No,
that's
yeah.
super underrated.
So speaking of underrated, should we talk about this fourth quarter? This fourth quarter is not underrated, by the way. It's overrated. Because at this point, it's 30-7 Patriots, and the Steelers have given up, literally.
What? This has my best play in this.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's hear it.
It actually didn't count. Well, it went down
Oh,
to
good.
complete pass.
This is going to be my best, actually.
My boy,
Nice.
Roman Pfeiffer.
No, it was Willie.
Oh, no, the other one, Willie McGinnis.
Oh, Willie.
Just being a
He
grown-ass man and wrecking plays.
Bodies Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart rolls out and decides to pump fake to give himself some more time, and Willie McGinnis just doesn't take that bait and just lights him the fuck up.
The perfectly clean tackle, and like in review, it wasn't a fumble, right? Cordell kind of held it until he met
Until
the
his butt
ground.
hit the
When he
ground,
met the
yeah.
ground, like it immediately shot out.
Yeah.
So it looked like a fumble in real time.
You
and
talking about?
So
Willie
Yeah,
McGinnis
Roman
off.
Pfeiffer returned it to the house, right?
Yeah. But if you watch the replay of that, Willie McGinnis gets up to go to recover the fumble, and I think realizes that Pfeiffer's probably has the better angle, so he peels off and blocks whoever the running back or whoever the Steeler is
Whoever's
running
chasing
after him.
Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what sprung him for the touchdown. But like you said, it got overturned.
It was, but he absolutely bodied him.
It was
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm
was
saying.
peak Willie McGinnis.
It ended up at 38. We scored. We should have another 6-7 on top of that.
Yeah. But that it did also set up a 3rd and 34, which the Steelers couldn't convert after that.
Roman Pfeiffer was so good.
Oh yeah, underrated for sure.
Great name too.
Mm.
For the PH and the Pfeiffer, you know?
Yeah.
Also, way late in this, when they're like scraping for content, they cut to this guy in the Patriots booth called Bucko Kilroy,
Yeah.
which absolutely an amazing name.
Who had spent like 60 years in the league or something.
Yeah, I did a little research on him because like, what an amazing name. And why is he in the Patriots booth? And I've never heard of this guy.
Nope.
He was the founder of the draft.
Whoa, Bucko?
Holy shit.
He shaped the modern Super Bowl as we know it now.
Like the
He's
trophy?
He's generally like the game, because remember he used to make the NFL Championship.
Oh, right.
That's how old this guy was. He's generally known as the dirtiest player ever. Even John Madden on the broadcast calls him that. He was a Patriots scouting assistant, and the only reason he stopped is because he died.
Holy shit.
He was our GM in the 80s, and he was our head scout in the 2000s when we drafted like Brady and Richard Seymour and all these guys.
Fucking hell.
Dude, Bucko Kilroy.
Yeah.
God damn.
This guy's a legend. He was instrumental in drafting Roger Staubach.
Yeah. He played for the Philadelphia Steagles,
Yes.
which was
I was gonna
the
say.
World War II team that they made when they combined the Steelers and the Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught that name. I'm like, there's got to be some story behind why it's the Steelers and the Eagles combined.
That's awesome.
Fucking Kilroy. How about that? The Beanie Steegle.
I need a fucking Kilroy Steagles jersey.
We could probably make that happen.
Who's that? Just no one, the dirtiest player in NFL history.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, they were definitely grasping at straws in terms of like content, because they were focusing in on the like the tray of all the medical equipment.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how they didn't know what any of it was. And John Madden made a joke, something about, what was it? Thermometer Airlines or Thermometer Airways is what it said. Which sounds like a terrible box to have to open, but
which I didn't know he was afraid of flying. Clearly, he must be. And that's why they always had like that stupid trailer at all their games that he would do.
Right.
And they'd eat the turkey after Thanksgiving in front of the trailer.
Yeah. And they put the player of the game on the side of the trailer.
He had a fear of flying. It was definitely a full-fledged, like, diagnosed phobia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That or he wouldn't fit in the seat.
I mean, you remember that bus?
Get the plane off the ground.
You remember that bus in The Little Giants? Remember when he made his cameo in The Little Giants with, like, Bruce Smith and a bunch of those other...
Barely. I haven't seen that movie.
That's a fucking deep cut right there. God damn.
Which there's actually content on the field too. Like we had Willie bodying people, and then the Steelers scored a last-second absolute garbage time TD.
Oh my God, this was fucking brutal.
Teddy Bruschi was super mad.
This was shades of when the Patriots were blowing out the Colts last year, and the Colts kept calling timeout so they get the ball back, and then they threw in their backup quarterback. That's kind of what this felt like.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like there was literally no reason to score. They're down 30-7, under 2 minutes left, and they're just like pulling out all the stops. They're running trick plays. They're running no huddle. They're like desperate to get in the end zone, and then Cordell barely scores a touchdown because he can't figure out to put the ball across the plane instead of his feet. And Teddy Bruschi was fucking livid about it. Like he had to get pulled off of the referee by multiple players.
It was kind of like that Bills game, the 31-0 bookend year, you know?
Yeah.
The Bills are kind of driving, they're down 31-0.
Yeah.
But like on that game, I totally understood the Bills' motivation there. I was like, yeah.
Right. Yeah,
you don't want to get shut
this.
out. You don't want to lose by the same score you beat us on week 1. Like I was not like, what are you doing, Bills? You're just wasting everyone's time. This felt a lot more like, what are you doing, Steelers? You're just wasting everyone's time.
Yeah, they were. And so to the point where they scored 1 second left, and the referee's just like, you know what? We're just going to run the clock off. It's not worth doing the kickoff.
Yeah.
We're just done. We'll go home.
Don't worry about that last second. We'll just
it's fine. No big deal. So I think that brings us to best and worst. Greg, did you have any best and worst from your boy Jeff Wagenheim?
Yeah, he's got a ton of them here.
Well, give me Wagenheim's best of his best.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the two corniest ones he's got left on here. The worst impersonation of Terry Glenn. Christian Fourier, number 88 in your program, actually made it onto the field, caught a TD pass, and didn't get hurt.
Shit. That's some fucking fire. God damn.
Yeah.
And then worst superiority complex. The Steelers have claimed their AFC Championship game loss was a fluke and that they were the better football team. Based upon their tackling last night, maybe they meant best touch football team.
Ooh.
Oh.
Dude, Jeff Wagenheim, fire flames. Just roast.
He'll be here all week.
They're so bad.
More like touch football.
How many more of these do you have, Greg?
Dude, he has like, I don't know, 12, 15.
You have the whole season here?
I bet we can find them.
Yeah, I definitely have.
I'll keep an eye out some Jeff Wagenheim.
Yeah, no,
we'll keep pulling.
I got more of them for future games.
Perfect.
All right, Connor, let's hear your best and worst from this game.
Okay. I'll be I got some good ones here.
Right.
So best, here's a fun stat for you. Tom Brady was incredible. He had 3 touchdown passes, which matched his total for the last 8 games of the 2001 season. So in the last 8 regular season games, which we won all of, Tom Brady had a total of 3 touchdowns across those 8 games. So he came out, I think he shut up a lot of the media pundits. He probably shut up a lot of fans who were wondering if it was a fluke. He was awesome.
He was.
Terrell Buckley was so underrated. You know, being in that secondary with Lawyer Malloy and Ty Law, Terrell Buckley, and even to Bucky Jones, he was just really solid. And I think he had 5 or 6, maybe 7 interceptions this year, maybe 5 or 6. He only had 3 the season before, so he had two picks this game. And my third star, I'm just going to do losers and winners. My third star probably goes. It's tough to say. I'd have to go give it to Dion. First game as a rookie, coming out with, I think he had like 7 or 8 catches, 85 yards. Was
good-looking touchdown too.
The exact kind of like long player, and by long I mean just like the stretches the field, runs a lot on those like deep posts and fade routes. I think it was just what the offense was needed. So that was sweet. Biggest losers, bums, or things that sucked. Kendrell Bell, I think, getting injured in the first, I think it was the first quarter. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. He was supposed to be a stud. I'm not going to say they would have won. I do think it kind of changed.
Yeah, definitely did.
The trajectory of the game. Jerome Bettis stinks. What a big fat load. All he did was, I think he had like 600 rushing yards this season. He just stunk. I mean, granted, he punched it in 9 times, but Jerome Bettis, blah.
Fumble too.
And then obviously, and he had a fumble, which led to the Branch TD. And then the third biggest loser is I got to go back to Bill. I got to go back to Bill Cowher's face, and then honorable mention is what's his face, the quarterback Cordell Stewart.
Cordell Stewart.
He after being Offensive Player of the Year in 2001, All Pro. I think he was the AFC MVP or Offensive Player of the Year before. He came out and showed he still had the yips from the AFC Championship, AFC game.
It was not.
Yeah.
And he would last 2.5 more games after this. So.
Yeah.
Be a fair slash. Yeah. Not bad. All right, Steve Brown. Say your best and worst, bud.
All right. My worst, I have the every run is a hold note in all caps.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Patriots couldn't run the ball. It's just like literally every time they did, they had a holding penalty.
I mean, they didn't exactly try. They had 4 runs in the first half.
But that's like 4 quarter runs. They had like 4 holding penalties too. Every single run would.
That's true, but most of the they had 23 consecutive passing plays between the.
Yeah, because Belichick was like, well, if you can't run with the ball without goddamn holding it, I'm going to throw it anyways.
Yeah, but they just went 5 wide. They said, fuck it, 5 wide. Let's just gas this defense.
So they had a couple of Belichick bests.
Oh, good.
They talked about the T-shirt he gave everybody in the organization.
Yes.
With like all of the standings are at 0.
Yeah. And everybody's standings on the back and everybody was at 0.
Yeah.
Fucking Belichick move.
Can confirm that he's been keeping the replay flag in his sock since 2002.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't see that in the first year. I think they had buzzers last year.
They did. And because the buzzers were so unreliable, they've now got the flag.
Yeah. So he's like, that's always been his spot, his sock, which is I've always found hilariously endearing.
Yeah, I'm curious why the sock and why not just a pocket.
And then they were talking about Scott Pioli. They called him the son-in-law, and how he's married to Bill's daughter. And I was like, what? I didn't know that. Like Belichick and Scott Pioli like that. And I Googled it, and it's not. They were talking about Bill Parcells.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Did not know Scott Pioli is Bill Parcells' son-in-law.
It's very incestuous. Same with what's his name and Tom Brady's sister.
Euclid.
Euclid and Brady's sister. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all sorts of cross-pollination like that. All right,
and
my best.
Tom Brady,
with
his butt chin in the post game.
Yeah. Like, I have that.
That's pretty fun. We just like spread it out and threw the ball. I hope we get to do more of that.
I have the audio here. Let me see if I can actually. I want to see if I can because I have it.
I also like Plaxico Burress saying we didn't lose this one. We got whipped after the game.
As it should be.
Love that.
Final, and let's check in with Melissa.
All right, Al. Well, when we talked to Tom Brady yesterday, or actually on Saturday, he said we are going to kick their butts. Tom, how'd you know that?
Yeah. Well, we, I think we had a good game plan. I think we were all confident. And, it's real tough for me is we had a good week of practice. So it's good to come out in our own stadium and play that way. It's a good way to open this thing up, a good way to defend our title.
This Steelers defense was ranked #1 in the NFL last season. How were you able to exploit them so well?
Well, you're right. They do have a great defense. And, it was just, Charlie Weiss came up with a great plan. And I think we come out here in the first game, we run a lot of the no huddle stuff. It's tough on the defense, conditioning wise, and we kind of got on their heels. And guys, Donald Hayes made an awesome play on the curl route when he kind of hooked and ran, and Deion Branch and Christian. I mean, the three guys we didn't have last year came up big, so it was a great win.
How does anyone not love Tom Brady? Yeah, he's the fucking best.
God, I love him.
But he's so fucking goofy back in these days. I didn't even realize.
Sticks out on that interview is he didn't say hi, mom.
That's true. He didn't.
Asshole.
Well, he always does. Hey, guys, had my parents real quick, and they're like, yeah.
But he sounded just like.
Okay.
Well, one, he sounds like he's 12.
Nitpicking a little bit here, Steve.
Which is astounding.
I'm just using that as an example to show how awesome of a guy Tom Brady is. When my thought is man, he's also usually very gracious to his parents as well.
I miss him already.
God, I miss him. I miss him so much.
Yeah.
I'll never not miss him.
So is that your worst, Steve Brown? The fact that you missed Tom Brady?
Sure.
Did you have a worst?
It's the worst. I mean,
every run being a holding penalty was my worst.
All right. What the hell is going on over there, Connor?
Dog's still hungry.
My roommates are talking in the kitchen. My audio has been fantastic. I'll tell you what, Andy, your audio's cut out a couple of times. You got to, hear a little ricochet noise from my roommate telling a shitty story. I'm sorry.
Thought it sounded like a good story.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, maybe we'll get him on the podcast instead.
What are yours? What are yours, Andy?
All right, my best was the referee cam.
Yeah,
cameras on the middle referee, the guy behind, in the middle of the defense, behind the linebackers.
Which I've seen in college.
Fuck, they don't still have that. Is beyond me. Because
I've seen it in college for sure.
And
I could see the refs not wanting that.
Why?
Well, they already had it. They already had it in 2002. I could see if they'd never done it before, but you already did it.
It was so good.
It was
awesome. It just looks like chaos when you're in the middle of it. The fact that anybody understands what they're supposed to be doing is beyond me when you look at it from that angle. It was fantastic.
I'm 100%. And the college version is cool as shit. The NFL version will only be cooler because it'll only be quicker and faster.
Right, yeah. It'd be great. So that was one of my best. My other best was the fullback from the Steelers when they're doing introductions. Dan Creeder, UNH alum. So how about that?
Ooh.
Possibly the most famous UNH football player?
No.
Can we say that? Give me another one.
Jerry Azuma.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Also, there's a guy that played for the Ravens.
Yeah, there's
the cornerback.
Yeah, and Kyle. Yeah, Kyle. What's his name? Kyle played for the Bears too.
No.
He picked off Manning in a big game. I remember Jimmy something.
Yeah. Ravens.
Yeah.
Jimmy Smith.
No, can't be.
It's not him. I got it. One second.
I thought it was.
It's definitely Azuma was one of them. You're right, but I don't know who this new guy is talking about. So
Corey Graham. Was it Corey Graham?
Corey Graham.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Fucking
I knew
hell,
it was Kyle Corey. I knew. I didn't even have to use Google.
I don't believe that.
Was Azuma the wide receiver?
I don't know. You tell me. You're on Google.
No, I don't think so.
He's a DB.
I'm
not. Back too.
I'm not.
No, there was David Ball who was he broke Jerry Rice's touchdown catch record when I was there.
And then who broke that record?
In the Chip Kelly days. I don't know who broke that record.
He's in the NFL right now. He's a white receiver.
James White.
Record.
James White.
Cooper Kupp.
Oh, no shit.
Yep.
Cooper Kupp.
Is that the college football touchdown receiving record?
Yeah, one of those yards, maybe catches.
He was an undrafted free agent who played for the Bears. Well, signed by the Bears. I don't think
Corey Graham played 12 years in the league.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, I recognize the name. Didn't know he was a UNH guy.
Yep.
How about that? Represent.
How about them Wildcats?
UNH had a third-round pick in 1982.
There you go. And my worst was basically the Steelers. They had 6 turnovers and 13 penalties in their season opener when they had an entire offseason to prepare for the team that knocked them out of the playoffs the year before. They were just a hot fucking mess. And off of that, my favorite quote was, because this is the beginning of the new division alignments, so it's the first year of the AFC North that the Steelers are in. And even with this loss, they were still tied for first place. And Madden, his quote was, luckily they're in a bad division because it was the Browns and the Ravens were falling apart too. And who else in that division?
Redskins. Oh, no, never mind.
What? The Bengals.
I did. They didn't talk about when they were like, because again they were scraping for content and they're talking about the fucking NFC East for some reason.
Because that's what John Madden knows best.
That was like their John Kitna Bengals?
It was the dark time for the Bengals and the Browns for that matter because it's the Browns. Yeah. But yeah, and basically the Steelers would get their doors blown off here, finish 10-5-1, and still win their. For all those people talking shit about the AFC East, and sit on it.
For the Steelers being recognized as one of the greatest, just teams and franchises, we have an incredible win-loss record against them. I think we've beat them like 12. Like we've won 12, they've won 3. I mean, it's some preposterous number. We've always had their number. Bill has. It was an easy game plan. It's like, you have all these big, huge linebackers. Okay, we'll just go no huddle and catch you in the wrong scheme and just wear you the fuck out. It was.
Oh yeah.
Bill Cowher was always out coached by Belichick. That's for sure.
So the Patriots against the Steelers in the Belichick era are 12-4.
All of this information is available on patriotsdynasty.info.
That's exactly right. That's where I'm getting it from.
454 to 338.
And if you want to talk, actually, I had a quick, before we end this, a quick trivia question, because I know how much you boys like that. So the Patriots have played the Steelers 3 times to open the season and never lost. They're 3-0, and they actually average a score of 30-13, which is very close to this one. But there's one team that they've played more times to open the season. Do you guys know who that is?
The Dolphins.
No.
Baltimore or the Chiefs?
Nope.
Assuming it's an AFC team.
Bills.
Yes, it is an AFC. Yes. They played the Bills 4 times. They have lost once, and I can guarantee you all remember. I guarantee you don't remember any of the wins, though, because I sure don't.
I'm looking forward to rewatching that game.
I don't know if I am, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Only because I know how the season ends,
That's true.
If this were
the open, make that game any easier to watch, though.
I'll be mad.
So yeah. Oh, and we have a new thing before we go. You can actually now leave reviews for our podcast.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah, no, I want to get some feedback. So, and I think maybe we'll put together for the second season. We'll put together something where the best or our favorite review gets, I don't know, a free T-shirt or something. But if you go to ratethispodcast.com/PatsPod, you can rate it on your podcast listener of choice. What are you going to say, Connor?
You should probably give that. You should give that pitch in the first 15 seconds when people are still listening, instead of the last minute of it. Okay.
No, I want to know what they really think. I want them to have suffered all the way through this. I want this to be fresh in their mind when they go to leave a fucking comment about this.
Well, that's the thing. You need someone to listen all the way to this point. You might not get any ratings. So.
Yeah, but we'll be like, wow, I didn't know that much about Bucko Kilroy. Great podcast, guys.
And speaking of which,
love mom.
Speaking of which, when they ended their partnership, the Steelers and the Eagles, the Steelers then merged with the Chicago Cardinals, forming a team known as the Carpets.
That's the dumbest shit ever.
And it says pronounced Carpets. And they went 0-10.
No shit they did. They were a fucking carpet.
Dude, I found an
Literally
article on
and
this.
figuratively.
It's awesome. It's all about like the players from back then, like smoking cigarettes on the practice field. Dude, their coach was Greasy Neal.
Good lord. The
Dude,
different
football in
time,
the
man.
40s must have been so sick.
It was a part-time job, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, boys.
War was their full-time job, right? All
Yeah,
right.
there's that too. And on that note, I think we will bring this to a merciful end. Again, rate us, leave us some feedback if you dare, and if we get any good ones, we'll send you some swag.
What's the what is it?
It's
What is the-
ratethispodcast.com/patspod, PATSPOD, and it'll
if
be in the
you-
show notes too. So look in the show notes; it'll be there.
If your comment is to put the ratings thing at the beginning of the episode, you can go fuck yourself, okay?
If your comment is that Connor needs to come back on, we'll know it's you, Connor, and stop leaving us that feedback.
Okay, ratings and reviews. Yep,
Oh, Jesus.
got it. I'm gonna juice up our reviews. So
Love it. Yeah, and
it
boys,
looks
if you want to add some positivity to this, you're more than welcome to balance out all the negativity we're about to get. Feel free. But this has
I'm
been.
gonna leave a really good review. Yep. All right.
All
Bye.
right.
Sorry, Andy.
No, it's all right. This has been a joy as always, gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next week on the Patriots Dynasty Podcast. What is next week? I'm
Week 2.
never prepared for this.
It's week 2.
They're playing.
This is true.
According to the Boston Globe, it's Route 2.
Route 2.
Like route.
Oh,
It's another Boston Globe pun.
giving it away. All right, yeah. We're traveling to
Jets.
Giants Stadium
We got
for
the
the
Jets.
New York Football Jets. Yes, and we will.
Fuck the Jets.
Exactly. And we'll see you then. Take it easy, guys.
See ya.
Yeah.